I am not a virus. As an Asian American who lives in a very Asian concentrated community, I never experienced much racism from other people. More so, I felt like the Little 66 bubble, or the San Gabriel Valley area of Los Angeles, was quite immune to the ignorances of racism. Like, it was an actual place where everyone tolerated and respected one another's basic rights, regardless of their skin color. When COVID-19 began, I didn't notice the subtle changes happening around me. I chose to ignore the fearful stares, the quick glances, and the blatant avoidance from the people around me. It was not apparent to me until around my second week of quarantine or the last week of March of 2019. While at the gym, I had gotten onto an exercise bike with one bike in between me and another woman. The woman immediately got off her bike and she just walked to a nearby treadmill, grumbling about Asians ruining the health of the community like I couldn't hear. She was on the exercise bike for a whole 2 minutes. 2 minutes before I had sat down. And she purposefully chose to leave because of my choice to be on the bike. The realization shocked me, really. She was avoiding me not because of what I had said or done, but because I was Chinese. Or Asian looking, I guess. I couldn't believe that this culturally diverse community that I lived in, a community built on the struggles and efforts of immigrants from all over the world, this community would be turning their backs on each other. COVID-19 is one of the first serious pandemics in the 21st century, and I feel like it is imperative that the community works as a whole to combat the spread of the virus. By targeting Asians and blaming them for the cause of the pandemic, you're hating on millions of people who are not related to the problem at hand. The destruction of Asian-owned businesses or the bullying of essential Asian workers is unnecessary, and it's uncalled for. The model minority, nor any minority in general, they don't deserve hate for things unrelated to them. And I urge for the end of bigotry, violence, and abuse against the livelihoods of Asians and minorities alike. We are not a virus. We are people too.
Hi, I'm Kyle, a rising senior from Marquepo High School. So we've all seen the videos of acts of violence committed against the Asian community. Shops vandalized, Asians being assaulted just for being Asian. That's scary. I haven't had any personal experiences, but these videos are making me scared to sometimes go out. And I know many of us feel the same thing. People are using the COVID-19 pandemic as an excuse to act on their sense of superiority and attack members of the Asian community. That's not progressive. Viruses can't be tied to a specific ethnicity. So, what can we do? First of all, we have to recognize that these experiences of racism are real and we're not being oversensitive. Being scared of the virus's origin can't justify racism. Racism is a persistent social issue that can't be defended by anything. We have to come together as a community and speak out against these acts of violence and racism. We have to share information and resources with friends and family. We have to help them understand if possible and keep them informed. And we also have to remember to take care and stay safe.
Pandemic has led to disastrous socioeconomic impacts on communities of color. People of color are already at a higher risk of housing insecurity, income insecurity, and a lack of access to proper resources to healthcare. This has only gotten worse with the economic impact of COVID-19. Discrimination against Asian businesses and workers leads to an economic ripple effect. My own friends and family members have become targets for racial harassment just simply walking in the street or at their workplace. It is important that we take action to protect our communities. Support small businesses. Support Asian businesses. Your local Asian bakeries, restaurants, and shops are relying on our community to stay afloat. And even though it may be difficult and uncomfortable, stand up against racism. Let your friends know that you care about them and support them. We are called in to unite together as a community in solidarity, action, and love.
Hi, my name is Mira, and I'm the Deputy Ambassador for Diana Trong. Since the coronavirus outbreak, I've seen an uproar of anti-Chinese, anti-Asian racism, such as online, on social media platforms. There's a lot of insensitive jokes and false videos being spread about the coronavirus, blaming Asian Americans for the coronavirus, as well as in schools. Same thing, a lot of insensitive jokes are being made. And in my neighborhood, people are afraid of my family and I because we are Asian American. Additionally, since I live in South Minneapolis, I wanted to bring up the murder of George Floyd, and how the Asian community needs to stand in solidarity with the Black community and show our support for Black Lives Matter.
So I think we can all say it's been a very eventful few months since the novel coronavirus has come to the United States. Personally, I've not been attacked for it. However, I can say I did hear a conspiracy theory in my school that believed that the coronavirus was developed in a lab in Wuhan and dropped in Wuhan because of its proximity to Hong Kong, and so there was hopes it would spread there to quell the democratic protests, of which there are no claims of that happening. However, that does not stop people from actually believing it. There is an evident rise in Asian American attacks, such as people being verbally abused in the streets. There are stories of families getting attacked in the streets. There are also, and people say, go back to your nation, why have you done this? And workers in Asian American workers are also affected, such as healthcare workers, since some of their patients don't want their services because they believe the healthcare workers will give the patients the novel coronavirus. And also restaurants, specifically serving Asian food, because people believe that they will contract the coronavirus somehow through the food because it was made by Asian hands. And so a lot of this culminated in some reactions, and in my opinion, you don't have to, first of all, justify your existence as Asian or as an Asian American. You can just be you. You are human. None of us deserve this. And words do have power. We can see how Donald Trump used his words to call it the Chinese virus, and Mike Pompeo calling it the Wuhan virus, giving it the association to us Asian Americans. But we can fight back with our own words. Just remember that.